Now guys, let's start with the firewall. Firewall is a computer network security system designed to prevent unauthorized access to or from a private network. It can be implemented as hardware, software, or a combination of both. Firewalls are used to prevent unauthorized internet users from accessing private networks connected to the internet. All messages are entering or leaving the internet pass through the firewall. So the firewall examines each message and blocks those that do not meet the specified security criteria. So if we talk about the categories of firewalls, so first we are having processing mode, development era, intended development structure, deployment structure, and architectural implementation. Okay, so now let's start with the processing mode. So the first thing that we have here is packet filtering. So what is packet filtering? Packet filtering firewall examines header information of a data packet that comes into a network. This firewall installed on TCP/IP network and determines whether to forward it to the next network connection or drop a packet based on a rules programmed in the firewall. It scans network data packet looking for a violation of a rule of a firewall database. So most firewalls often based on a combination of internet protocol source and destination address direction and TCP or UDP source and destination port request. So packet filtering firewalls can be categorized into three types. So the first that we're having here is static filtering. So the system administrator set a rule for a firewall. These filtering rules governing how the firewall decides which packet are allowed and which are denied are developed and installed. Okay, so the next one is dynamic filtering. It allows firewall to set some rules for itself, such as dropping packets from an address that is sending many bad packets. Then we are having stateful inspection. So what is this? A stateful firewall keep track of each network connection between internal and external system using a state table. Okay, so then we are having application gateways. So what is application gateway? It is a firewall proxy which frequently installed on a dedicated computer to provide network security. This proxy firewall acts as an intermediary between the requester and protected device. This firewall proxy filters incoming node traffic to certain specification. That means only transmitted network application data is filtered. Such network application includes FTP, Telnet, real-time streaming protocol, which is also called as RTSP, and BitTorrent, etc. Okay, so let's talk about circuit gateways. So a circuit level gateway is a firewall that operates at the transport layer, and it provides UDP and TCP connection security, which means it can be reassemble, examine or block all the packet in a TCP or UDP connection. It works between a transport layer and an application layer such as a session layer. Unlike application gateway, it monitors TCP data packet, handshaking and session fulfillment of firewall rules and policies. It can also act as a virtual private network, we can say that VPN, over the internet by doing encryption from firewall to firewall. Okay, so then we are having MAC layer firewalls. Okay, so let's start with this. So this firewall is designed to operate at a media access control layer of a OSI network model. It is able to consider a specific host computer's identity in its filtering decision. MAC addresses of a specific host computer are linked to the access control list, which is also called as ACL entries. This entry identifies a specific type of packet that can be sent to each host and all other traffic is blocked. It will also check the MAC address of a requester to determine whether the device being used are able to make the connection is authorized to access the data or not. Then we are having a hybrid. So hybrid firewall, it is a type of firewall which combines features of all the other four types of firewalls. So these are element of packet filtering and proxy services, or we can say packet filtering and circuit gateways. So now let's start with the development era. So if we talk about the development era, so firewalls can be categorized on the basis of its generation, first generation, second generation, and all. So now let's first start with the first generation. So now the first generation firewalls comes with the static packet filters. A static packet filter is the simplest and least expensive form of firewall protection. In this generation, each packet entering and leaving the network is checked and will be either passed or rejected, depends on the user defined rules. We can compare the security with the bouncer of a club who only allows people over 21 to enter and below 21 will be disallowed. Okay, so the next one that we have here is second generation, which is also called as second gen. So second generation firewall comes with application layer or proxy servers. This generation of firewall increases the security level between trusted and untrusted networks. An application level firewall uses software to intercept connection for each IP and to perform security inspection. It involves proxy services which acts as an interface between the user on the internal trusted network and the internet. Each computer communicates with each other by passing network traffic through the proxy program. This program evaluates data sent from the client and decides which to move on and which to drop. Then we are having third generation. So the third generation firewall comes with the stateful inspection firewall. This generation of the firewall has evolved to meet the major requirements demanded by corporate network of increasing security while minimizing the impact on network performance. And the need of this third generation firewall will be even more demanding due to the growing we can say supports of VPNs, wireless communications, and we can say enhanced virus protection. The most challenging element of evolution is maintaining the firewall simplicity, and we can say the maintaining the security actually, so without compromising the flexibility. So this is very important thing to be noted down. So the next one that we have here is fourth generation. So the fourth generation firewalls comes with dynamic packet filters or filtering firewall. This firewall monitors the state of active connections, and on the basis of all this information, it determines which network packet are allowed to pass through the firewall. By recording session information such as IP addresses and port numbers, a dynamic packet filters can implement a much tighter security posture than a static packet filters. Last but not the least, we are having fifth generation. So the fifth generation firewalls come with the kernel proxy firewall. This firewall works under the kernel of Windows NT executor. This firewall proxy operates at the application layer. In this, when a packet arrives, a new virtual stack table is created which contains only the protocol proxies needed to examine the specific packet. These packets investigated at each layer of stack, which involves evaluating the data link header along with the network header, transport header, session layer information, and application layer data. This firewall works faster than all the application level firewalls because all evaluation takes place at the kernel layer and not at the higher layer of the operating system. So now we have done with the download development era. Now it's time to see intended deployment structure. So firewalls can also be categorized based on their structure. So first we are having here is commercial appliances. It runs on a custom operating system, we can say. So this firewall system consists of firewall application software running on a general purpose computer. It is designed to provide protection for a medium to large business network. Most of our commercial firewalls are quite complex and often require specialized training and certification to take full advantage of their feature. Then we are having a small office, home office. So what does it mean? The SOHO is a full form of small office, home office. Firewall is designed for a small office or home office network who needs protection from internet security threats. A firewall for a small office, home office is the first line of defense and plays an essential role in, we can say, in an overall security strategy. SOHO firewall has limited resources, so that the firewall product they implemented must be relatively easy to use and maintain and be cost effective also. So this firewall connects with the user local area network or specific computer system to the inter-networking devices. Then we are having here is residential software. Okay, so residential we can say great firewall software is installed directly on a user's system. Some of these applications combines firewall services with other protections such as antivirus or intrusion detection. They are limited to a level of configurability and protection that software firewall can provide. Now we are having here architectural implementation. So what is architectural implementation? So the firewall configuration that works best for a particular organization depends on three factors: the objective of the network, the organization's ability to develop and implement the structures, and the budget available for the function. So there are four common architectural implementation of the firewall. So the first one is packet filtering routers. So packet filtering firewalls is used to control the network access by monitoring the outgoing, and we can say incoming packets. It allows them to pass or halt based on the source and destination IP addresses, protocols, or the ports. And during communication, a node transmits a packet. This packet is filtered and matched with the predefined rules and policies. Once it is matched, a packet is considered secure and verified and are able to accept, otherwise block them. Then we are having here is screen host firewalls. So what is this? So the firewall architecture combines the packet filtering router with the separate and dedicated firewall. The application gateway needs only one network interface. It is allowing the router to pre-screen packets to minimize the network traffic and loads on the internal proxy. So the packet filtering router filters dangerous protocols from reaching the application gateway and site system. Now then we are having dual homed host firewall. So what is this? So the network architecture for a dual homed host firewall is simple. Its architecture is built around a dual homed we can say host computer. A computer that has at least two NICs. One NIC is to be connected with the external network and the other is connected to the internal network, which provides an additional layer of protection. With these NICs, all traffic must go through the firewall in order to move between the internal and external networks. So the implementation of this architecture often make use of NAT. NAT is a method of mapping assigned IP addresses to a spatial range of no routable internet IP addresses, thereby creating another barriers to intrusion from external attackers. Then we are having, last but not the least, screen subnet firewalls. So this architecture adds an extra layer of security to the screen host architecture by adding a perimeter network that further isolates the internal network from the internet. In this architecture, there are two screening routers and both connected to the perimeter net. One router sits between the perimeter net and the internal network, and the other router sits between the perimeter and the external we can say network. To break into the internal network, an attacker would have to get past through the both routers. So there is no single vulnerable point that will compromise the internal network. So this is all about firewalls. So now let's talk about VPNs. So what is VPN? A VPN stands for Virtual Private Network. It is a technology which creates a safe and an encrypted connection on the internet from a device to the network. This type of connection helps to ensure our sensitive data is transmitted safely. It prevents our connection from eavesdropping on a network traffic and allows the user to access a private network securely. So this technology is widely used in the corporate environment. So a VPN works same as firewall, like firewall protects data local to the device wherever VPNs protect data online. To ensure safe communication on the internet, data travel through secure tunnel and VPNs users used an authentication method to gain access over the VPN servers. VPNs are used by remote users who need to access corporate resources, consumers who want to download files, and businesses, we can say business travelers who want to access a site that is geographically restricted. So this was all about we can say firewall and VPNs. So I hope you guys enjoyed it and you will learn something from this particular lecture. So thank you for watching this lecture.